Hi ho!
Greetings and welcome, guys, gals, to Non-Binary Past, episode 432 of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly gaming podcast for Words About Games. I'm one of your hosts, Amy K. Alexander, and I'm joined by Long John Silver himself. It's Daffin Moody.
Hi ho!
I'm keeping the first one in, don't worry.
Hi ho! It's off the page. I don't even know the words. Hey, but that trailer was awesome, wasn't it, people? No one's crying at all, but whatever. Howdy do, everybody. It's Friday. You know what that means. It's video game, the holiest of days. All hail video games.
All hail the great and powerful video games. I've detached myself so much from the internet that I don't know what trailer you're referring to, and I'm happy not knowing.
Oh, Disney released the next trailer for Snow White. And everyone, the right-wing idiots, complain as always. Apparently, she said some stuff. I don't pay much attention to it.
The trailer or the?
I don't. No. The person who's playing Snow White. Well, one, they're complaining that it's a coloured woman playing Snow White, and two, she said other stuff about like changing what was done before to a more modern, and people are crying about that, and I'm just like,
when they're modernizing it, wasn't it released in the 30s or something?
Yes, yeah.
Based on an even older fairy tale.
Yeah.
Can't believe they're modernizing it.
I know. So end of the world. This is the thing about it. This is more funny to me. Is like people have been doing nothing but complain about the other remakes that they've done because they've basically just been shot for the most part overall. They've added in a couple of new things, but Lion King was basically The Lion King. Beauty and the Beast was basically Beauty and the Beast. A new couple of things in, but and Aladdin, same thing. And now they're saying they're changing it up. They're complaining even more, and I'm like, guys, you pick a side.
Stop watching Disney. I feel like that seems to be the solution for these people. Stop watching Disney.
Yeah, but they wouldn't get the views then, and they wouldn't get the monetization.
If we're talking about two different things, if we're talking about just people, like normal people, then yeah, sure. If we're talking about grifters, then yeah, obviously the grifters have to grift.
Yeah. Grifters have to grift.
The grifters have to find a grift.
Oh no, they've hired a person who's gay. I must rant about this. Whatever. Yeah, the new Star Wars show isn't bad. Skeleton Crew, I enjoyed the first 2 episodes. Wasn't bad.
That's good. Yeah. I've seen a couple of people talking about it.
Blue-skied it out there. That's it. I've enjoyed the first 2. I won't lie. I put it out there, Amy. I put it all out there. And everything. Is that what they say in Blue Sky? They skidded it.
They skeeted it, because like...
They skeeted it.
If you don't know what that word means, it's not a good... It's... That's the reason I don't use that word.
That's fine. Okay.
It's slang. We're not going to talk about what it's slang for.
Stupid slang. Yeah, stupid slang. But okay, yeah. But yeah, it's really good. And the Star Wars idiots out there, so quiet right now. It's really good. Because they're like, oh shit, this is actually not bad. How am I going to monetize this?
They'll find it.
Oh, they'll find a way. Yeah.
There was a great video I watched. I think it only came out a couple of weeks ago by Sean about Stellar Blade. And that entire saga of events, and it's very good. I liked it a lot. That's been about as much as I've engaged with the grift economy, like in a while. Like I obviously remember like all the Stellar Blade stuff when it happened. Unfortunately, I'm being a video game podcast person cursed with. I'll find out about this stuff eventually, even if I like delete Twitter off my phone. Which I did. I still find out about this stuff eventually. But I know.
Yeah, even when I find out about stuff, I'm just like, why have I found out about this?
It's always the same. It's always the same pattern. Why are you putting this in my face? I'm gonna start unfollowing people who share excessive screenshots from Twitter on Bluesky because I'm just like, man, you're reading the entire room wrong. Like, can we not? Like, I've already done it a couple of times. Like, people like someone will like post a thing like, look at what Elon Musk has said now, and I'm like.
Oh, God, yeah.
Unfollow. Like I left his stupid social media website. I don't want to know what he's saying now.
I don't care what he's saying. Yeah. Who gives a hoot, man? Guy's in his own bloody world. Let him destroy America.
Please, I just want to tweet about my video games.
Yeah. You want to tweet about the things you're enjoying. Yeah,
Exactly.
I agree. I agree. But yeah, it's been a fun one. I'm enjoying Judgment.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
I haven't beat up any kids yet.
That would be the sequel. Sorry. I don't
0 out of 10.
I don't think there's any high schoolers in the first one. That was the plot for the second one, not the first one.
Yeah. It may or may not have been the reason why I gave it one of my games, put it in my top 10, even though I hadn't really played the game.
You saw a lot of it.
I saw a lot of it. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, it was really good. No, but yeah, I've just finished chapter 2. Yeah, really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. It's like, and I won't lie, it's a good looking game still.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good looking game still. And Yagami's like, he's Yagami. Just goes ass kicked. I won't lie, massively goes ass kicked.
Gets the shit kicked out of him a lot, yeah.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, there's no doubt. But no, yeah, it's I'm really enjoying it.
I remember.
I won't lie, the worst.
Sorry, I was going to say I remember bits and pieces about it, but I don't necessarily remember what happens when. So like, I'm refraining from saying stuff. I do remember that the intro, like, cutscene into the final boss is one of the most epic things I've seen in a video game. It's so fucking good. It's so fucking good.
Nice.
But sorry, what were you going to say about
saying that? No, I was going to say, it's like, it's making me want to go to Japan even more.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is annoying.
I find how GG games do that to me, like Yakuza and Judgment, like both, like have that effect on me.
Yeah,
it's like, oh no, I want to visit Japan. Persona as well, like Persona 5. It's like I want to go live here.
Well, maybe not there.
And then it's like, well, there's demons there, and I'm like, it's fine. Fine.
There's demons here, so it's all good as well.
I've beat the games. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know how to do a quadruple scissor kick into the face to people. It's all good.
If I get attacked by a gang of thugs on the streets of Japan, I just hit them with a bicycle.
Exactly. Or a bin.
Yeah.
Or a cone.
Or just whatever is nearby. Whatever is lying around.
Yeah. It is, yeah. I'm having a lot of fun. I know it's really weird. I never really completed Lost Judgment. So I'm kind of like thinking I'm going to play this one through and then maybe move on to Lost Judgment because because of the deals that are out there right now, I was able to get it pretty cheap, really cheap right now. So I bought both of them because I couldn't be. I was just saying to myself, okay, so could I buy Judgment or resubscribe up to the tier on PlayStation Store? And I was just like, let's buy the fucker.
And then it went on sale, and it was like, my decision has been made for me.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
it's like, well, it's the same price now.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And I was just like, thanks, you made my life easier. It's all good. And it's already installed, so it's even more better.
Even better.
But no, it's a lot of fun. It's just good to sit back and just have a good time on a video game. I feel like I've been struggling with that of late, of like new games. Obviously, old games have been pretty okay. I've played a lot of Pokemon games and everything like that, but like the new games, like I've done
before.
Yeah. So today, because I haven't really touched it or anything like that, I traded in Dragon Age.
Fair.
Veilguard. I was just like, I'm not touching you. Just go. You're not in my foreseeable future right now to play. And I'm so happy when I see on Bluesky people who have absolutely loved this game. I'm so happy about that. But right now, it's just something I'm just not really up for playing, like I've been saying like the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I just decided, no, it didn't cost me anything, thankfully. So I'm just going to get cash back and just, I made a profit without even spending anything.
Woo-hoo.
So, hey!
Where's the third Judgment game? Oh.
I think we're going to get one. I think we'll get one. Yeah.
The main sticking point was the agency didn't understand. The agency that represents the actor didn't understand how video games works. And was like, no, we're not putting the game on PC. But then they released the games on PC later. So that makes me think that whatever the issue was, they've solved it, which means we might get a third one.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I think I hope we'll hear something maybe next year. Obviously, we've already announced the next Like a Dragon game, which
the spin-off, the pirate one, isn't it?
The spin-off one. Yeah, so they always do kind of go like that, a spin-off. Then they get a mainline game or something like that, or a remake of an older version, which I guess they might actually do that. do a remake of an older Yakuza game and change it to Like a Dragon Yakuza 1 or 2 or something like that.
No, I just bought them all. You can't do that. No.
No, capitalism, me. Get on board.
I'm playing the first remake. not the second remake.
Yeah, that's fair. No, but like what is it? Last year we had Ishin and the man who gave up his name, I think it was, or something like that.
The man who erased his name.
Yeah, erased his name. And then obviously we had the sequel to Like a Dragon, which was a phenomenal game. So, it was really good that they balanced out being in America and Japan really well in those games in that first one, or the sequel, should I say?
Yeah, it was nice.
So,
I liked their Hawaii, the bit that you play in Hawaii. Like I liked running around that place.
Yeah.
It made me want to go on to somewhere with sun, and I don't really like sun, so it must have done something.
Yeah, it did something for you. Yeah, that's Japan has sun sometimes.
I mean, we have sun sometimes, but you know.
Yeah, right now it ain't sunny. Not sunny at all. But no, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to just going back and chilling. It's really good.
That's good. I've been playing Nier, right, Automata. Technically for the first time, as it turns out. Like, I've definitely played it before. Like, yeah,
I was gonna say, haven't you played this one? Well, I saw your Bluesky tweets. I'm just gonna say that.
No, not really. It's in this. It would be in the same classification as like when I was calling Pokemon Violet my first Pokemon game. It's like I've played Automata before. I have the trophy list, like from before I started playing it back up, that I have played it before, and I do remember bits and pieces of it. But like I never got very far in it, and even when I was at points that I had played before, like I got to one section and I was like, I don't remember this being in the game at all. But according to my trophy list, I did all of this. And I'm like, this is a complete surprise to me. But
what's going on here?
But yeah, no, I didn't get too far into it. So I'm it's in my head. It's my first time playing it because I'm sitting down. I don't think I was paying attention. I wasn't familiar with Yoko Taro's game at that point, so I was just like, you know, it's kind of okay, I guess. Like, you know, like it's
so which is the one that you played and platinumed a few years ago?
I didn't platinum it, but I did play Nier Replicant a few years ago.
I won't lie, I thought they were the same game.
No,
so I was almost close to picking the other game that you asked for us to choose one. But then you gave us the description of it, and I was just like, "No, I'll go to the
Vitz gave you a description of it."
Oh, Vitz did, yeah. Sorry, Vitz gave us that, and I was just like, "Yeah, nah, I'm good."
Replicant was technically the first one because that was a remaster of a game that came out on like PS3, Xbox 360. And I mean, as you know, because you were on the podcast where I talked about it, I fucking loved that game.
You did.
And then it was always like, oh, I should probably give Nier Automata a proper shot. and it only took me 3 years.
Took me 5 years to get onto playing the first Judgment game after already playing the sequel.
Right. It's like we're finally learning how to be like normal human beings about video games.
I know, it only took a pandemic and other things in our lives to make us do this.
I made a spreadsheet.
The world had to end for us to become normal, kinda.
Not really.
What is normal?
I made a spreadsheet. You can send that in both directions. It's like, yeah, I became normal and made a spreadsheet, and I made a spreadsheet. That's not normal. Normal people don't make spreadsheets.
That's true.
Unless they work at a job where they make spreadsheets.
That's true.
But yeah, no. I thought I'd talk about my backlogging. I don't want to call it a project. It wasn't really a project, but it's my topic.
It was a project.
Well, yeah, it was about this time last year. I'm sure I sat on this podcast and said I was, you know, I'm gonna like make an actual like spreadsheet to like, I don't even know why I really did it. I think the main reasons were like things that I've discussed throughout the year. It's why it's always been on my mind about like stuff like I have terrible choice paralysis when I'm confronted with too many things. I find it extremely difficult to choose like what to do. And with video games, because I've got the instincts of being a game reviewer in another life. I go, what's new? What's hot? What's everybody talking about? And like, or what's on Game Pass? That was another one that I figured I learned throughout the year. Like Game Pass was like an anchor around my neck. And when I got rid of it, I felt a little bit freer. But what I actually did was I made a spreadsheet. The main thing was to track what games I was playing, how long I was playing them for, did I complete them, like the dates that I started and finished them, and making notes. As soon as I finish the game, I'd boot the spreadsheet up and I write my notes about it. Just like, surface level, what did I think of this? And I also made, which I didn't share because I didn't really want to share this with anyone. I also made a massive list of games. So when I sat down last December and thought I'm going to track these games, I made a huge backlog list, which was all the games that I thought these are games that I probably want to play. Like, these are games that I probably want to play. So I put them all in a big list with a bunch of data, a bunch of information on their genre, their how long to beat average time, what platform and do I own it, that kind of thing. And my thought process was, like, I'll be able to use this massive list and narrow it down, like, what am I feeling about? Like, try and beat that choice paralysis. It's like, okay, what kind of game am I in the mood for? Like, do I have any money?
That is very important.
Yeah. Do I have any money? Well, it's not going to be a new game then. And like, how long to beat average of like, how much time do I am I going to have a lot of time in the game at the moment? Like, do I feel like I'm in the mood for something quite long or quite short? And I thought that would help me like narrow things down. But as we'll get into later, there was an issue with the way I approached that part, the backlog list part. But I want to talk about that later because I hopefully I've fixed it for 2025. My aim was to just pick games quickly and try to finish more games. Like, not necessarily like I play a lot of games. All right, I played a lot of games. My intention was almost counterintuitive to play less games, but finish more games. Like, get the percentage up, because like I would just play a game and I'd be like, no, well, I'm not liking this, and like Nier Automata years ago.
That's fair.
And just rebounding off of it.
Like even like another game, even though you played it a few years ago after I played it, Tunic. You just weren't feeling it at the time, and then you came back and went, "What the fuck did I play this?"
Yeah, and then I went back to it like just before Christmas. Just before we did Game of the Year, like whenever we did it that year, I was like, Tunic, like people have talked about this game in a way that makes it seem like it would be an NES Amy game, but I played it and I didn't even like it. Well, it's on Game Pass, so I'll just play it again. And then like 20 hours later, I was like, this is the best thing I've played all year. Holy shit.
Moody was right.
Moody was right.
Saying that.
I fucking hate it when that happens.
I hate it when Moody's right. Damn it.
But yeah, I figured if I had a bit of organization and a bit more efficiency, I would spend less time doing nothing and regretting it. Not doing nothing because I want to do nothing, which is a different thing. But like, when you spend an entire day not being able to decide what you want to do, and then the day's gone and you get frustrated because you've just wasted an entire day. Avoiding that, avoiding as much of that.
That's good.
And the reason I thought I'd do a podcast topic about it is because, well, I closed it off because it was a year, which is how long I wanted to make it go for. And like, maybe it could help people who like have the same brain gremlins that I do about like choice paralysis, about like, how do you pick a thing to play? Like, how do I pick a video game? Like,
I
don't think it's going to help everyone. Like, if Vitz was here, I'm sure he'd find this all very interesting. But like, I don't think he has the brain gremlins of like ever, like, I don't think he's ever struggled to decide what he wants to do. Like, he'll just be like, oh, I'm going to play Cyberpunk. And he just plays Cyberpunk. And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm in awe of that. ability.
Oh, well, I think we both are. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And it's like, I'm just going to go this. And then if he just doesn't want to play something, he just doesn't.
Yeah.
It's like, how does it feel having a life, Vitz?
How does that work?
How does it feel? How does that work,
I
sir?
have to make spreadsheets and run experiments and collect data. Like, and you just go, I'm going to play Zelda now because I feel like it.
Yeah. How does that feel? How does this work? We're saying that we're close to being normal. He is normal.
He is normal. And it's annoying, but I love him for it.
Yeah. Respect to you, sir. Respect. If I had a cap on, I'd take it off for you.
I would. Hold on. Let me put my notebook on. It's a cap now because I said so. And I'm taking it off for you. There you go. So yeah, before like when I realized I was going to talk about this week, I dropped the spreadsheet into, and I've just put it down on the thing, and we're going to just change that back and misspell game. So whatever, it's done now. So I shared it in Discord so that you and Vitz could see it, because I thought it would be unfair if I started going on and on about something that you hadn't seen. So as you can see, Moody, it's quite detailed.
Yeah, a little too much detail for my ADHD brain, I won't lie. I'm glad you're going to go through this.
I have let's say I've streamlined it, because yeah, again, like I didn't want to change anything as I was running it, like through the air, but like I definitely like noticed issues. There was, like I said, there was one glaring one that I should have spotted straight away. But like as I was going through the air, I did notice issues. But my first main like takeaway of like, again, it's spread into columns. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna edit some of the notes so they're not quite like so personal and revealing of like personal stuff, and I'm gonna share the link in the YouTube video just so people can look at it if they want to look at it. So it's, but like I'll just describe it like quickly. It's so you've got the game, the year it came out, how long I played it for, what date I started it, what date I finished it, did I complete it or not, what platform I played it on, and then a notes column, which was where I just sat down after I finished playing a game and tippity tapped on the keyboard and did the tippity tap. I think there's some funny stuff in there. Like my Mass Effect 2 note is incredible, but
I hate this.
I hate Renegade Shiphead. It was all I wrote about Mass Effect 2. But yeah, the first one, I think the biggest boon for me in doing this was writing my notes down, like writing my thoughts about each game down just after I finished it, because it helped me remember games. Like nothing that I played for a substantial amount of time in all of 2024.
Yeah,
it bleeds into anything. Like none of it bleeds together. It's like if I can, like if we started talking about Arco right now, like I can crystal clear remember it. And I think part of that is because I took the time when I was finished it just to write down what I thought about it. You know, it was the same with every single game that I played, even if that game wasn't really feeling it, bounced after an hour or two. Like it's a shame, but for this reason, like I just didn't finish it. And I added that to my notes for every game that I didn't finish. I was like, I didn't finish it because of this, that, the other.
So these reasons.
Yeah. But I think that was the best thing I got out of this. And I think that's something that anybody can get out of just gaming in general, right? I think writing down, and if this can even apply to normal people like Vitz, where it's like, I think like writing down like just your thoughts and feel almost like a journaling, I guess, in a way. Like, I think that can help you remember stuff. And in this case, remember like the games that you played.
Yeah, it's a really weird analogy for me. Or for me, it's that when I was like working QA and everything like that, I had to write down notes and everything like that to make sure everything that I knew I was knowing and everything. But when it comes to like playing the games like that, I struggle with doing it when I'm at home chilling and everything like that. I always have. It's like when I see these things and everything like that, I go, "Wow, that's really good," and like, and it'll be like, I should do that just to like make me remember stuff, because sometimes when I do reviews and everything, I waffle on like crazy. Or I feel like I waffle on. That's why like I felt like I said like for me the double exposure review I thought was just an absolute shit of a mess all over the place.
The game
so I don't
was
think
a
I
mess
properly
as well.
The game did help. It didn't help with that either. But yeah, I think it was just if I proper prep myself, I might have been a little bit more.
That's fair.
Entwined and everything, but I think it would have helped. I think it would help maybe in the future. But also at the same time, it's just like if I try it, I'm going to be trying to force myself to do something I don't think I'm going to be comfortable with doing.
That's fair.
When I'm at work, when I was working, it's a really weird thing. When I'm at work, it's completely different because I think it's because I'm getting paid.
I'm not paying you to write your
yeah, you know what I mean? No, you know.
Just so
it's like it's yeah, I know that. It was like when I was in hospitality, my mother always said, I was thinking, because I'm a very like outside of like work and everything, I'm mostly pretty much just a shy person, and like I keep to myself unless I got, I have this core group of friends who I speak to and everything. My mom always said, how can you do this? How can you go and do weight training and everything like that? Because you have to socialize and everything. I get paid. That's it. I get paid. I go over and do it. I was like, I'm getting paid. That's all that matters.
Money is exchanging hands.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, like my notes went like I mean, you've seen me review games, like both written and scripted and unscripted, and it's nothing like that. It is literally just like, oh, this was cool. Oh, this sucked. You know what I mean? Like my double exposure, my double exposure entry later on down the line. Like, this sucks. I'm glad Moody was playing it, not me.
I think I would have got through it if it wasn't for Moody.
I probably would have tried to finish it because I know it's only 10 hours, but I probably would have finished that. But yeah, anyway, like the note taking was definitely the there we go. I went out of focus for a second. It was definitely like the biggest positive I think I can take away from this little slice of the experiment that I did. Something else as well, which I didn't notice until I was scrolling through the spreadsheet, like quite late on in the year, was that it did eventually like break. It started to break me out of that sort of defaulting to, I don't know what to play. I'll just play whatever's new and whatever's hot. Like there are certainly times where I have like big chains of like 2024 games, like 2024, 2024, 2024, but like the stuff that I was genuinely excited about for the most part, you know, like I followed Dragon's Dogma 2 with Animal well. I was excited for both of those games, you know, like I played, you know, Alan Wake 2 Night Springs was only a couple hours, right? And then I followed that with Alone in the Dark. But I was like breaking stuff up quite well where it's like, you know, look, I played Pokemon, like, you know, I played Elden Ring again. I followed up 2024's Crow Country with 1998's Half-Life. Like, so I was definitely like starting to break out of that habit, which was really good because that was one of the goals that I was trying to actually achieve, of like follow my heart. And we'll talk more.
Follow your heart.
And I'm glad I had the stats to show that like to see that happening. Because a lot of stuff, like when you think about like, oh, these are the games that I played, it's all it's kind of like half remembered vibes based stuff. Whereas for me, it's like I have data, like I can look at it and go, this actually happened. Like I definitely think I played less games this year, and I definitely think like I finished more as a percentage, kind of thing.
Yeah, so there's no doubt you played less.
I played 44 games in total, according to the spreadsheet, not including like playing Umbrella Corps for half an hour on the stream. I don't think I put Halo in here either, because like it was a charity thing. In my head, it was a charity thing, not a game I went out to play. But I finished 28 games. Now, I'm not very good at maths, and I couldn't figure out how to make the spreadsheet turn that into a percentage.
It's fair.
But it's definitely more than 50%, which is good. Because there's a couple of like unfinishable games on here, right? It's like I got Everybody's Golf. I've got like, you know, I've got Witchfire, which is in early access. You cannot finish that game right now. So like I logged it as incomplete, even though like I didn't. There's no way for me to complete it. So I feel like that definitely worked as well. I found it easier to pick new games. Like I didn't suffer from choice paralysis as much, but this happened later in the year as opposed to earlier in the year. And I'll talk about why a bit later, because like I have a what went wrong with this approach, and something went dramatically wrong, and it got worse and worse and worse until I did some stuff. And a big part of that was picking games. But yeah, no, those were sort of the main sort of like benefits that I got from this approach. And it was cool just to see like the numbers change, right? Like Like,
Yeah.
I've got the spreadsheets, like it calculated that I played, on average, 17.8 hours per game. Like, which
That's full nerdy stuff, that, I'm not going to lie.
I realized it was really, I realized when I did because I wanted to get the total hours, which was 802. And then I realized that I could just, if I change the formula to average, I can have the average. I don't think having that data has changed anything or like given me any insight, but it was kind of funny to watch it, because like I started with a 50-hour game and then I played a 20-hour game, and then it would be like, I played Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth for 82 hours, and then the very next game I played was Silent Hill: The Short Message, which was 2. So I was like watching this number like ping pong all over the place.
Yeah, I can believe that, no doubt.
It was quite funny.
Like, this is going all over the place.
Yeah, like I've started my new spreadsheet and I'm filling it in, and right now the average is the same as the time played, because I've only played one game so far.
See, this is a thing you intend to continue.
Yeah. So I'm gonna talk about it at the end, but yeah, because I made some changes to it, and I'm gonna continue doing it because I think it's fostered a lot of really good habits in me. But I don't think I got all the way to where I wanted to be. It might be something I just do forever.
Yeah,
because it has been really beneficial. But let's talk about what went wrong. So
this is what went wrong.
Remember at the beginning when I said I made the tracker? I'm really proud of the tracker. The tracker worked really well. But then I made another thing. A giant, huge, monstrous list of video games that I felt like maybe I would want to play at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And you might notice I'm emphasizing a certain thing about that list, and yet that was what went wrong, but I didn't notice it immediately. A couple of problems with that approach. One, the list was far too big. It did not help with choice paralysis. There was like a fucking ridiculous number of games on there, and even when I was like filtering stuff out for like, oh, I feel like playing a shorter game, it's like there's still a shitload of short games on there. Okay, let me try and figure out what kind of vibes I want. There's still too many games on there.
Yep.
But it didn't happen. What didn't happen right away, because when I made the list, it was like, when I made the list initially, it was that kind of thing of, like, I played Prey and Silent Hill and Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Yeah.
And those 3 games were like, I want to play this. Like, another part of the problem of making a static list at one point in time is the further away I get from that point in time, the more my mood has shifted. Like, the more like my hype for certain things has gone up and my hype for other things has gone down. So the further away I got from that, this giant massive list that I was supposed to be working my way through was just more and more like, there was less and less on there that I actually wanted to play, and trying to find out what I wanted to play was actually quite difficult. So when I say it was a problem I didn't notice immediately, that was why, because it worked great for a little while. And then like I had new games like Infinite Wealth and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, like, that I genuinely wanted to play when they came out, to sort of mask the fact that it wasn't working.
Yeah.
Which again, it did not help. I ended up in September. I deleted a shit ton of it. And then I ended up ignoring it in October, for reasons we'll get into.
Yeah.
Which helped me a lot. But yeah, no. Next page. So I made some. So once I deleted everything, I sat down and I really, because you remember I talked about it on the podcast, I had like that period of time where I was picking a game, not getting into it, picking another game, not getting into it, picking another game, not getting into it. I didn't put that on the spreadsheet because the spreadsheet would have exploded. But like that was what was happening. I was like going through this backlog list and I was like, this game, I remember being really excited for this game. Nope, not for me right now. And then if you look back on the list, some of the best times I had were where I went completely off my backlog list. So, for example, when I played Pokemon Violet earlier in the year, that wasn't on the list, because no sane person would have put Pokemon Violet specifically on a list of games that they wanted to play.
That's true.
That was just like a chance thing of I'm on the Boomerang Rentals website. Pokemon Violet is up as a bonus game. I have points that I can spend on a bonus game. And I kind of feel like playing this right now, so fuck the list. Fuck the list off. Let me just get this game sent to me, and I'm going to play it. And I had a great time. And it was the same thing in the summer when I decided to get Elden Ring. And spend my entire July. I have the data. I spent an entire month playing Elden Ring and Shadow of the Erdtree as well. But like, I also like went deep into Elden Ring. And again, that wasn't on the list. And then it was at that point where I was starting to realize like ignoring the list might be a better option. And that's when those two things fused together. So like my last run of games from sort of October, once I got fed up with Metaphor ReFantasia, I was like, okay, this is where I'm like struggling to get into a game. And then I remembered the podcast that we did, and you reviewed Silent Hill 2.
I did.
And I remembered you really liked it, and I thought, damn, this sounds like it might be really good. So I thought, right, I'm just going to play that. Moody said it was good, so I'm just going to play it. And then we did Life is Strange, because I was coming down and you had it and it was a thing. Like,
yeah.
Dino Crisis was for charity. That doesn't count. And then like...
Oh, lie. I've done... I could be very surprised. If you could say to me next year, I'm not coming down next year.
I'm not coming back to your house next year. You don't want it.
I would completely understand and respect it.
I played Super Mario Party a couple of times with Sadie. Again, it was just a case of Sadie has this game, Sadie likes this game, I can play this game with Sadie. I'm gonna fucking get this game. I did Fallout New Vegas because I was just scrolling through my Epic Games library while I was like picking up the free games you get from Prime, and I was like, oh, I have Fallout, and I'm not playing anything at the minute. I'm just gonna download this and play it, and you can see where this is going.
50 hours later.
You can see where this is going. Like, and Diceomancer, again, it was just like, I'd just come off of Fallout, and Diceomancer sent me an email, or Steam sent me an email, like, this game that you've got on your wish list is out. And I just shrugged my shoulders and went, all right, cool. Click, click, click. Like, this looks like it could be fun. My kind of thing. And I played it, and as you can see from the notes, I really enjoyed it. So, what did I learn from that experience? So,
what did you learn, Amy?
I'm doing this again. I've simplified the backlog tracker. I've simplified the tracker a little bit. I'm sorry, I forgot to put a link to it. So you're just gonna have to trust me on that. I might make this public and just like let people, if they want to, like click into it and have a look at it whenever they want. I've sacked off the year the game came out because I don't think I need that information anymore.
Yeah, and there's no doubt. There's no point of needing it. At the end of the day, you could just combine it with the name. Just go Yakuza Like a Dragon brackets 2020.
But like, I think it was useful to have last year. I don't think I need it this year. I've kept most of the other columns, except the platform that it's on as well. Because again, it was interesting to see that I played my PC more than I played any other platform this year. But I don't think I need that information in the tracker. Like, I don't need to know that I played Nier Automata on my PS5, right? I know that, and it's not relevant to it's not relevant to anything. So it is really just the game, how long I played it, when did I start it, when did I finish it, did I complete it, and then my notes, which I don't have any yet because I haven't finished the game. I've taken the information that I got from the previous spreadsheet and figured out, like, roughly how long do I spend per month gaming? Because I have that information right in front of me. And obviously, like, there's months where I play a lot, there's months where I don't play as much. But, like, I've worked out that I roughly play, unless there's an Elden Ring situation, I roughly play, like, 3 or 4 games a month.
Yeah.
So I've separated the tracker out by month with blank spaces for, like, 3 games. And, you know, if I play more, I play more. And if I play less, I play less. But it's like, I just fill it in as I go. And I do have a backlog list, but it's much shorter this time.
Interesting.
And I'm going to use it as a backup. So I'm not going to, like... when I started the process last year, the first place I went to was the backlog, and then I got myself stressed. And you can see like runs in the spreadsheet from last year where it's like the completions are like no. That's where I was getting stressed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I was doing towards the end of the year, where it's like, I'm going to listen to what you're telling me. I'm going to listen to what Vitz is telling me. I'm going to listen to what like friends are saying about things. I'm going to see like if I get a notification like games got on sale, or like check my wish list. So just like maybe like scroll through in my libraries. Apart from Steam, my Steam library is an unwieldy mess, and I don't know what to do with it. There's too many games in it. It needs organizing. But apart from that, and like if something pops out at me, I'll play that. And then if nothing pops out at me, then I'll consult the much shorter backlog. Because that's how I decided to play Nier Automata. It was like, okay, I need this kind of experience. I'm looking for something long, but not too long.
Yeah.
So like I've got the vibes, I've got the experience, and then I was like, and I've played a lot of games at my PC, and what I really want to do is just melt into my chair in front of a TV for a bit. So that narrows it down. I can narrow it down by like consoles. I don't want to play anything on PC. I want to play on consoles. And then I narrowed it down to 3 games. And then I was like, I can't decide between these 3 games. And this is something else that I didn't try last year that I'm going to try more of this year, which is I asked other people what they thought. Because I went onto our Discord group chat, and thanks to Moody making a poll about Pokemon last month, I now know
only
you
one
can make...
person voted on, may I ask?
Which was me.
I'll remember this, Vitz.
Like I now know you can make polls. Thank you very much for that, Moody. And what I did was I made the poll, and I typed the 3 game names in. And before I even hit publish on the poll, I looked and there was a little thing in the back of my brain on that 3rd game that went, I kind of hope they don't pick this one. So I deleted it.
So you took it off.
Yeah, so I deleted it. What game was that,
may I ask?
It was an indie game called In Stars and Time, which is roughly a similar sort of vibe and length to these 2 games. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I do still want to play it, but it was just, I was looking at those 3 games, and I was like, those
I'm
2,
feeling
yes.
these 2.
That one, yeah. No. And then you guys all voted for Nier Automata. Everyone voted for it. So I was like, cool, that one. And I was playing it that night.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And that's a hell of an improvement for me and my brain gremlins, let me tell you.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Like, I need thankfully, like, I've hit I'm in a mode right now with judgment and everything, which is really good. But I won't lie, I kind of think I might just do that throughout. I say, what am I feeling? What am I feeling? Type of thing. And I'll just maybe just throw it out in our Discord and whatnot and go, boom.
Yeah, you could do that, and I'd be down for that. I think having the backlog list as a backup is definitely going to help, because otherwise I'm in danger of infinitely scrolling through everything. Like, you know, when you go on Netflix or Prime or whatever, and you're just scrolling and you're not really sure and nothing's really jumping out to you. I think having that fallback is going to be really helpful. But it being short means that I can narrow it down quite easily, because I think it's only 25 games, whereas last year's was well over 100. But one thing I do want to do to prevent what happened last year is I want to update it periodically. So like I'll figure out like intervals where I'll look at it, delete anything off of it that I'm not feeling anymore.
Yeah.
And then maybe add some stuff that I am feeling now, and then like keep it fresh and keep it relevant to how I'm feeling, because that was a major problem last time of just like tastes change like throughout the months, like throughout the years, right? It's like if I'd have not played Nier now, maybe it's like in 6 months time I would have been like, oh, I don't want to play Nier Automata. Why would I want to play a kind of game like that right now? So I think that was the biggest lesson that I learned for this. Keep it a bit simpler now that I've got a lot of the data that I wanted, and have a fallback, but really just go off vibes and what you're feeling, because that was where I had the best times throughout the year. And it also makes space for new games as well, because like I don't want to ignore new games. There are plenty of cool new games coming out that I really enjoyed. Like I said, I played Silent Hill 2 Remake on Moody's suggestion, and had a great time with it. just as much as when I played Pokemon or Elden Ring or The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages last January, because I needed something to play on my Switch because AGDQ was on, and there was times when I was just like, oh, I wish I had something else I was doing. Yeah, I've got Switch Online. What's on there? Like, again, I think there is some value to that, but I think having that fallback is like a good one to balance for choice paralysis.
Oh, that's good. There's no doubt. I won't lie. Like getting handhelds, I think it'll become back into me these days now. Like obviously, I spoke about like a PS portable, which has just been a godsend, where I can just be like, oh, I don't feel like playing here, and I don't feel like moving my console really to my living room, but I've got this, bada bing, bada boom. So it's like really good. And obviously, can you see? Yeah, I've got my DS and whatnot. So yeah, and I've got my Switch and whatnot. Hopefully the Switch holds better than the one. The Switch 2 holds better.
I hope so. Yeah, they really need to fix those Joy-Cons. They need to have like grips to the back of them.
Yeah. I just feel like I just want to be able to hold it and not feel like I'm breaking the freaking thing.
That too. That too. But yeah, that was my journey in through 2024 of video games, like a narrative arc, if you will. I talked about some of the stuff like as we were going through the year. And now I just sat down and actually like looked at what I had captured, and I found some interesting lessons for myself, which I thought I'd share because, like, we've talked about it a lot, Moody. And I know Vitz doesn't have my brain gremlins, but I know you have some of my brain gremlins as well. So hopefully,
sadly,
even if this is helpful to nobody listening and nobody else watching, it might be helpful for Moody in some ways.
Trying new things just to try and like fine tune it. That's the biggest thing for a person with ADHD tries to do. They just, what is working that helps me or even helps you like get through certain things in life and everything, and just I'll always cherry pick to see, okay, this seems like it's working for them, but will it work for me? Okay, it may not be working, but can I fine tune it to basically, like I said in one of my interviews last month, moodify it.
Can you moodify it? Exactly, right? I started this off my own back because I was getting frustrated with like the wombo combo of choice paralysis and like wasting a lot of time. But I did see a video. I did end up seeing a video by a YouTuber called Daryl Talks Games about this exact thing, and he took a very similar approach. And that helped me sort of refine what I was doing a bit throughout the year. And he just released a new one as well. Last month, this month, what month is it? It's December. Last month. Which again, they're very entertaining videos, but like they definitely helped me like refine what I'm doing. And what was funny when I was watching his video that he released this year about the last year of his backlog, having some of the same pitfalls as I did and having some like coming to some of the same conclusions, I was like, I might be on the right track here. But yeah, so even I've like taken some stuff I've seen from someone else and amified it, if we're going with moodified it. The thing I would say is if you take this kind of approach specifically, the first time you do it, if you do it for like a full year, capture as much information as you can because you don't know what's going to be useful. Because I even found like things that I've removed, like I've removed what year a game came out this year, but last year having that information was actually quite helpful to making a plan, but also just to seeing what was working and what didn't as it was going on. So like capture as much as you can and then refine it from there.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Like I'm looking at my games that I've like, played this year that are quote unquote 2024 games. I've played 7. That's it. I haven't even completed them all.
I've got that information at the bottom of my spreadsheet. Of the 44 games I played this year, 24 of them were from 2024.
Yeah. All I've done is 7. Because like I really hit a wall. And it's just like, yeah. It's really, obviously I have things that were happening in my life where I was just like, I don't want to play anything right now.
Sure.
I'm going in to play and I'm going to get redundant. I'm just like, well, fuck that.
Fuck this then. I won't play anything.
Yeah.
Fuck this.
I'd rather sit on my couch and wallow in self-pity right now. But either way. But no, yeah, it's just like, it was like balancing, like we've spoken about on multiple things about it. It was just like, feeling like you need to be part of the conversation, and thinking you don't, you really, really don't, and it's just like right now I'm playing Judgment, and I'm just having a cracking time, and I don't care if no one's playing it or anything like that.
And after this podcast is over, I'm going to go and read the plot summary of Judgment so I can remember what order everything happens in, so that when Moody once says I finished chapter 3, I can go, what about this bit that happened in chapter 3? Not what about this bit that happened and that hasn't happened yet, Amy. Ah, shit.
Yeah, but no, yeah, it's always great to see things like this and everything that work for you and everything. And I'm really happy to see this has worked for you. Like, there's some funny ones, like quotes and everything. I love your Mass Effect ones. They're really funny and everything. Yeah. I'm doing this just to capture for my article. What were you doing?
Mass Effect 1. I can read it if you want. Renegade playthrough for video essay. I despise playing a full Renegade, and I'm glad this is just for footage, because if this was the game, I would hate it. Renegade Shepard in Mass Effect 1 is a dick, and I'm half tempted to let her die at the end of MEQ. And then a bit further down, I've done Mass Effect 2, which I never finished.
Yeah, you didn't.
And all it says is, I still hate Renegade Shepard.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, yeah. And obviously, double exposure one's funny to me as well.
Yeah,
this was rough. Moody played. I observed. I can't speak much about gameplay mechanics, but in my defense, there seems to be a precious little in the way of gameplay mechanics. Double exposure seemingly forgets the heart of what made Life is Strange a special series by bringing back Max and focusing on her powers instead of using the protagonist's powers to tell a human story. Oh yeah, and there's all parts of it. Yeah, I just love the part. This was rough. Moody played.
That was my first thought. I wrote that in your spare room on Saturday night
after finishing Dino Crisis.
After playing Dino Crisis as well. Yeah,
that's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I always wanted to make sure I was capturing raw thoughts. So I did it as soon as I could after I'd finished playing a game. But yeah, I think there's some good insights in here as well. Like my Left 4 Dead one, because I've been playing Left 4 Dead with Keith, and I was tracking it. And it goes on about I've played a lot of Left 4 Dead games, trying to chase the high of those late nights playing on Xbox Live. And some of those games were pretty good, but playing more Left 4 Dead in 2024 has made me realize that it's not even close. I think I've been quite insightful at some point. And then there's the Elden Ring one, which just ends with "Curse you, Bale." Dark Souls 3, capturing some footage for a future project. This game still slaps. That was the other thing I learned, actually. Sorry, I just looked at Dark Souls 2, the Dark Souls 2 entering, and that was one of the other things I learned about myself. I don't know if this is going to necessarily help anyone who's listening to this for advice. This was mostly just a thing I learned about myself. Don't go chasing a similar experience to the experience that you've just had, because I did that 2 or 3 times in this spreadsheet where I played Elden Ring, and then I was like, on the high of Elden Ring, I've never played Dark Souls 2. I'm going to start playing Dark Souls 2. And my entry is basically, this game's great, but holy shit, I just spent 140 hours playing Elden Ring. I can't play another 100 hours of this. I need something different. So that's a personal me thing. But I think if I want to turn that into advice, I would say listen to what the brain's telling you about something. Keep yourself open to what you're telling yourself in your gaming habits. Because I didn't pick up on this for most of the year.
Yeah. I was fascinated with this one for Final Fantasy IX. That you bought it, obviously the old version on for PlayStation and everything.
Yeah.
So you ditched your PS5 playthrough. Mm-hmm. I was very surprised by when I read that.
Yeah, I played it for a bit. Again, it's that whole thing of chasing one experience with another, right? Because I played 6, and then I started playing 9. Immediately after it, 1 day later. I can see it on the spreadsheet. I started playing 1 day later, and then at some point in that week and a half that I was playing Final Fantasy IX, I bought it. It's behind me. It's over there now. And I thought to myself, like, I'm not feeling it because not only have I just played 6, but like a month ago I was playing 7 Rebirth.
Yeah, I had a lot of Final Fantasy.
So that was a lot of Final Fantasy. And yeah, it was just like, I'm going to play it, but I want to play it on my PS1. With this PS1 copy I've got. But even then, I go into it and say, look, 2 Final Fantasies back to back. Not a great idea.
Yeah.
And honestly, I kind of want to play 10. The way I've played 9 before and finished it. I've never played 10. And I even said that in my note that I wrote after I dropped it. I was like, if I go back to it, I think I'm going to play Final Fantasy 10. Because it's one of Moody's favorite Final Fantasies. Vitz keeps talking about it. It's Luna's favorite Final Fantasy, I think. Or one of them. There's a lot of Final Fantasies.
There's a lot of Final Fantasies.
There's a lot of people in my life who love Final Fantasy X, is what I'm saying.
Very good, very good. Well, I'm glad you found a way for yourself to be able to figure out what to play and everything for yourself. And I look forward to seeing next year's one at the end of next year.
Yep, every December. Well, maybe it's not every December, but at least next December, because I am doing this again.
It'd be interesting. What I would do, I would maybe look to freaking doing it, like say, all right, we're at halfway point now of since I started it. This is what I've done so far, and then
yeah, maybe.
and then
I could do
maybe.
That.
Then you could, and then you could like say, all right, this is what I played here. Whoa, what the hell did I play on the final half of the year? Damn, you could be like, I went crazy for this one. Maybe knowing you probably will.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of do that because, like, I mean, these notes form the basis of all of the game reviews I've given for the last 12 months. So, like, I do kind of like log, air quotes, like log the games that I've played through the podcast. Sometimes, like, you can see that there's games where I didn't talk about them on the podcast because I didn't feel like doing them as a topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's good. Like, I think I've finally been cured of my I have to have a game of the year list. Like, I think is another one I talked to about Vitz with Vitz while we were streaming. For the charity stream, I was like, I have to have a game of the year list. And I feel like if I didn't, I'd play less games that came out in the year. And then Vitz was like, why not just not have a game of the year list? And I was like, I've had a game of the year list every year since 2007.
Yeah.
That's a big commitment.
The thing is, though, it's like, I think what has helped, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, is probably me and Vitz on the part of like, we haven't played much to even create a game of the year list.
You two in your stubborn way have forced me to be like, right, well, we can't do what we did last year this year, so we're going to have to think of something new. And I think it's just going to morph, and it might even morph this year. Like, because I could definitely make a game of the year list for this year.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
I think I'll probably be able to make one every year. I don't think I'm going to like ever like drop to like, no offense, I didn't intended by what I'm about to say. I don't think I'm ever going to drop to your levels of I played 7 games from 2025. I don't think that's going to happen.
The thing is, though, for me, it wasn't intentional. That's the thing about it. It just happened. Like, obviously, things in my life and everything. Yeah. Hopefully, touch wood, things will get better at the beginning of next year. And
game developers who are based in the UK, things will get better for Moody. Or I'm going to start setting fires. And you're never going to know where I'm going to go next. Buses are really cheap these days. Allegedly. Got to cover myself in case fires start happening. It's a joke. That was for legal reasons. That was a joke. But yeah, no, I think it might morph. Our end of year gaming discussion might just morph from game of the year to like, what do we play this year? That was our favorite stuff. Whether it came out in 2024, 2025, whatever, or not, like what did we play that was new to us that we loved? Because I go on and on about some of these games, like Pokemon Violet, loved it. The fact that I completed it is a testament to how much I enjoyed that game, because it was not easy.
It's still insane to me. That's the one that you've completed that one and I haven't. It's still insane to me. I've completed all the others. Even you've completed a Pokemon game that I haven't played.
You told me that partway through when I was playing it, and I wonder if, because it was a long time ago, I didn't write this part down, but I think that could have possibly been part of the motivation to actually push through and finish it.
I don't mind.
Was just like, it's the only Pokemon game Moody hasn't completed. Imagine if it's the only Pokemon game I have completed. That would be really funny. I'm going to do that. But no, it was a really enjoyable game. I did enjoy it a lot. I look forward to some further adventures in Pokemon. But yeah, no, lots to chew on, lots to think about. And
no doubt.
This goes out specifically to you, Moody. Not to everybody else listening out there, because I do not have a lot of free time, like at the best of times. But specifically for you, Moody, if you do want a spreadsheet, like, just let me know how you want it built, and I'll build it for you. I will build it for you, because I know how to do that. Clearly.
Cool. If I think about it, I might hit you up.
And everybody else, if you want to ask me questions about it, ask me questions about it. Like I said, I'm going to drop links in the descriptions of wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast, so that you can see the old one once I've edited a few names out of it. And once maybe I'll drop the new one, and you can all see it all as the year goes on. Although I think you'll be startled by how much Nier Automata I've played in 3 days. I've played a lot.
I wouldn't. Mate, no, I wouldn't.
I mean, some of these times make me question myself. Like, I started Infinite Wealth on the 26th of January. I finished it on the 8th of February. Between those 2 dates, I put 82 hours into that game.
Well,
that's less than 2
When
weeks.
you get going, you're a nutter for it.
I suppose that's true. Like, yeah, but then, like, you can see what happens immediately after. So, like, yep, do that. Yeah. And then I don't play a game for 10 days.
But you've hardcored it for so much, you're now burnt out and you need a break.
Yeah. It's like, I finished like Dragon Infinite World. I was like, woof, that was good. And then 10 days later, I played a 2-hour game.
Exactly. It's just how it's meant to be.
It's useful data. Like, I know for a fact how my psychology works now.
Yeah. Like, I'm very intrigued with so I watched the Skill Up video of podcast where he spoke to developers of Ubisoft who are working on making the Star Wars game better. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I'm a little intrigued to like giving that a try after the update comes out and everything, because whatever they're going to do and everything, there's a lot that they need to do for me to make that game decent. Because I only played 3 hours, like I stated on multiple occasions, but I'm just like, there was a garbage game. They would need to like how deep are they going to go into it? I was just like, maybe it's a game that I have been thinking about it. So I'm just like, but I'm going to wait until I hear the updates out and then maybe decide if I want to give it a second go and everything. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing all about it, or not, as the case may be.
if I decide, yeah.
Shall we do a quick little halftime break, and then we'll do an indie game of the week when we come back?
Go for it.
That sounds good. As you might know, our charity fundraising live streams for Special Effect are over. We finished our 13-hour stream 2 weeks ago. Just under 2 weeks ago we finished that stream, but the fundraising page is still live until the 31st of December. So we are still going to be running our mid-roll ads for Special Effect. If you can support that in any way, whether it's sharing or donating directly, please do so. It's a fantastic cause. Just know that you won't be unlocking any more live streams. 13 hours in one go was enough for us. please support Special Effect.
Even though it went faster than I thought it did, those 13 hours.
Does.
Yeah. You're just like, oh shit, we've only got
it's like, oh damn, we've only got 3 hours left and we still have to do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I didn't realize how long that playthrough of Bramble would have took me.
Good. It was fine. It was good. It was I mean, I haven't watched back the part that I was asleep for, but the part that I was there for was fun. I just
when you go back through it, you'll just yeah. When you rewatch it, you'll hear me go, ah, because Vitz just went, hello. I just wasn't expecting it at all.
Bitch, he's playing a horror game. Will, you're playing Alien next year.
I can't wait for that. I won't lie, then that's gonna be a banger.
That's great. I'm looking forward to sitting down, because we haven't done any of this yet, because I think we're just cooling down from the last one. I'm looking forward to planning the next one and starting on that one. But
yeah, we'll have to have like a proper sit down and have a conversation.
Big time. I think there's like with the spreadsheet stuff I was just talking about, I think there's lessons learned, and I think there's some stuff that went really well, and like we'll have a proper.
I agree.
I'm never doing another top 100 list ever again. I don't care if it's for charity or not.
I agree with that. Never again. Like, I think, I
did it once. I'm glad we did it. Never doing it again.
Yeah.
The footage is disappeared.
There's
a footage is not coming. The footage has disappeared, and I'm going to tell you all right now, it's not coming back.
But it was the more when I was thinking about it afterwards, I was just like, oh God, I was a dick.
Yes. I think we all did. I think we were all just. I don't think we talked that much for until the podcast between like doing.
Yeah, I think so.
Podcast.
Yeah,
I think we were all just like, I think we need to give each other space.
Yeah, we got a bit heated, not intentionally, but it got a bit heated.
It got a bit heated for entertainment, which was what I hoped would happen, and then it started getting a bit heated for reals.
Yeah,
and then it was like, this is not what I wanted to happen.
Yeah. But I was thinking to myself, I don't know if it's going to go well, because I'm going to fight for some games that I want higher than some other games. And we fought. And because there was one game right at the beginning, I was thinking, no, I do not want this as high as I can. I'm going to bug the shit out of you until you give me what I want. Yeah. You did a lot. You did give in eventually, but it was just like, but I feel like I've lit fires in both of these two, and I think they're not going to give up on me now.
Yeah. All right, let's get out of here. Enjoy the ad read. We'll be back in a moment to tell you about a cool looking indie game.
What's good, everybody? I hope you're having the best day. The Words About Games podcast is fundraising for the fabulous team over at Special Effect. If you didn't know, Special Effect is a charity that transforms the lives of physically disabled people all over the world through innovative use of technology. The heart of their work is the mission to maximize fun by helping people control video games to the best of their abilities. They're bringing families and friends together, having a profoundly positive impact in quality of life, confidence, and rehabilitation. Amy, Moody, and I have been working on a number of streams to bring you a whole host of shows, games, shenanigans, and more. Everything from ranking Resident Evil, becoming the noble team in Halo Reach, and finding our competitive streak in legally distinct and 90s game shows. We've got several more charity streams in the works, and with your help, we can get there. Special Effect is a charity near and dear to our hearts, and we'd love your support in raising as much money as possible to bring the joy of video games to so many more people. Simply click on the link in the description below of wherever you're enjoying this podcast, or scan the QR code you see now. That will take you to our Just Giving page, where you can learn more and donate. If you're not in a position to donate, that's more than okay. Times are tough and we understand. Please consider sharing our Just Giving page on social media. It will help spread the word and the work that we're doing. Thanks for listening, and for now, let's get back to the podcast.
And we're back. It's time for Indie Game of the Week. This is the thing we do every week where we talk about a cool looking, upcoming indie game that we think is cool, and you should go and look at the Steam page and maybe even wishlist the game. In fact, you should definitely wishlist the game. If you like indie games, scroll on down into the description of wherever you're choosing to listen to and or watch this podcast. There's a link to our Steam curator page, which has every single indie game of the week we've ever done, which is well over 100 games at this point. There's a lot of sales going on at the moment, so if you're looking around and you're thinking, damn, I need some games. I need some gaming inspiration. More than 100 games on there. Definitely something there for you at this point.
There is a lot. But a lot indeed.
This week's indie game of the week is Dante's Ring. Dante's Ring is an action-adventure RPG with survival and arcade elements where you engage in a disaster combat and confront the deadliest forces of nature, from raging fires and molten lava to powerful earthquakes. You take on the role of one of the bold explorers, investigating what appears to be an extinct volcano range. Strive to survive and save as many lives as possible while facing the force of nature, the aftermath of a natural disaster, deep-seated human beliefs, social conflicts, and your own inner demons. The game features everything that I just said. I looked at the bullet points, and it's mostly just like what I just mentioned. But I think it's cool. It's a cool concept for a game, right? It's like it's an action game, RPG, where instead of fighting like monsters or like people or robots or aliens or whatever, it's like you're fighting nature. It's like, and I'm guessing
what us humans do.
Yeah, but like in a good way. We're not trying to destroy it; it's trying to kill us, like a disaster movie. It's like playing through your own disaster movie, like Dante's Peak. That was a disaster movie. Dante's Peak? Yeah, Dante's Inferno was the poem.
The Day After Tomorrow.
The Day After Tomorrow.
2012.
The Meg. Not the Meg. That's not a natural disaster. That's a big shock. But yeah, I think it's an interesting concept for a video game, especially like an action RPG. It looks interesting. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it. I think that you should too. Also, it says here you get a fire extinguishing pistol, a fire extinguishing shotgun, but then a fire bomb launcher. Like, are we fighting fire with fire? Because, like, I know it's a good saying, but have you ever actually tried to fight fire with fire?
We will now.
You just make more fire. Never really works.
It's not how the force works, people.
Like, oh no, my house is on fire. Let me just get this Molotov cocktail. Whoa, that didn't make anything better at all. But yeah, this game is called Dante's Ring. The link to it is in the description wherever you're getting this podcast. Please click on that, have a look, wishlist the game if you think it's something that might vibe with you. It's coming out sometime in the future. Most games don't have like release dates on them these days, which is fine.
Which is fine. Well done,
last week you gave me one word for your podcast topic of last week's podcast, handhelds. This week you gave me 2 words for your podcast topic, which was celebrating PlayStation. So I like it. It's fun. I never know what I'm quite getting myself into with a Moody podcast topic these days, and I'm excited.
All right, I guess if you take out the rest of the words I put in front of celebrating PlayStation, I just said celebrating PlayStation.
Yeah. Like, to be fair, to be clear, the rest of the words were basically my topic this week would be...
Yeah. All right. That's fair. I'll say, wait, I'm sure I said more than that. No, I really kind of didn't. Okay, that's fair. Really. That's fair.
Next week, maybe I'll get 3 words. Fuck you, Amy. Here we go.
That's my topic. Fuck you, topic. Amy. Yeah.
I'm actually excited to hear that
one. So this week is the 30th anniversary of PlayStation. 30 years of PlayStation. Obviously released in Japan first and everything. And we obviously got the Western folk got it later in the year after. But PlayStation obviously is one of the tentpole console manufacturers out there, going toe to toe obviously with like Nintendo and Xbox and everything, and pretty much and Sega, yes, when it came out or when it was going around
fucking
and
everything. Executed Sega behind the fucking woodshed.
Pretty much they did, didn't they?
Yeah, they really did.
So my topic basically is just like coming through it and like I'll go off for like, so I've basically got 4 things of like what is our game of the year for each game of a console for each generation. Ooh. and then obviously and then just think and then there's throwing up other games of just like what PlayStation has brought to the industry and everything, and what we've loved. Mostly what we loved. Dislike, but there's a lot of things we could say of PlayStation. What we dislike. There's no doubt about that.
Yes, I watched because I watched their video because they did a video where I was like 30 years, and like it made me mad, and I was gonna bring it up, but then I was like, no, Moody wants to celebrate PlayStation. Let's just celebrate PlayStation. So I wore the PlayStation T-shirt because I knew we were talking about PlayStation.
Nice. Oh, nice. So yeah, let's get into this. PlayStation 1, where it all started, it basically was one of the biggest revolutionary jumps in consoles when it came out and everything. If you've read the Console Wars book or watched the film and everything like that, PlayStation were meant to team up with Nintendo and everything, which was really interesting now to see that they are nowhere near each other whatsoever.
The sole driving force for PlayStation existing is basically spite.
Yeah, it really is, which is funny as hell to think that. Just, going back into it, yeah,
as the story goes, like they were teaming up with Nintendo to release a disc-based add-on for the Super Nintendo.
Yes,
and it was going to be announced at E3, and the PlayStation guy, was literally sat in the audience, like right at the front. At Nintendo's E3 press conference, they were going to announce it. He was going to get up on stage. It was going to be a great time for everybody. And Nintendo announced their disc-based expansion for the Super Nintendo, and we're proud to partner with Philips. And there's this PlayStation guy sat there like, what the fuck? And then like they went back. As the story goes, they all went back to Japan, and the person who was like the lead designer of this disc add-on for the Super Nintendo, basically just after everybody like fumed for a bit, was like, well, if we just add a couple of this and this and this and this, we can make it its own console.
Yeah. And they did. Yeah. And it absolutely dominated for a few years and everything. I remember, like, because I've seen that the next console from Nintendo was the N64 and everything, which I thought was a great console. It was and put out some really great games and everything. But yeah, going off for I think what I was saying, what I remembered when I was a teenager around that time, everyone wanted the PlayStation and everything, for what I could remember and everything. There was only a few people really wanting the Nintendo and everything. And Nintendo seemed like it was like basically the old boy out there and everything, which it was at the time and everything. It was the thing that saved the video game industry, which I think will always have a soft spot for everybody for Nintendo just because of what they did. I think Sega should be thrown into that as well, because I think the battle those two had basically rejuvenated the industry into what it would have become, into what it is now and everything.
Definitely, yeah. Like, the N64, it was a shame because like it had a lot of good games on it, but like PlayStation just played an absolute blinder with the PS1. Like they got really the price right. Like them getting Final Fantasy, like which was just that was unbelievable. Like that. Wait, the next Final Fantasy is coming out on PlayStation, not Nintendo. And then they got publishers signed up to work with PlayStation, because the thing about the N64 is they stuck with the cartridges instead of going over the discs. Even though at that point, like you were like with the Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo, it's like you pretty much maxed out on what you could get out of those cartridges. And it's like discs were the future. At the time. Now, you know, as time is cyclical, we've got the Switch with cartridges again, and it's great because, you know, cartridge technology moved forward. But yeah, at the time it was difficult. I imagine it was it's similar as like a PS3 situation, where it was like, I imagine the N64 was really difficult to develop for. Whereas I imagine it was a lot easier to develop for PS1.
Probably, maybe. No, I can't speak of that or anything like that, even though
that's my limited knowledge. Yeah, that's conjecture.
Yeah, there's no doubt. But no, yeah, like they played a barmy for it, no doubt about it. When it comes to like disc drives in general, PlayStation has basically been ahead of the curve from everybody basically for years. Going into every generation, really, all leading up all the way up to the PlayStation 4 and obviously and etc. up to what we are now with obviously, which is Blu-ray and everything. But PlayStation played a blinder, even though I never saw it when it happened and everything like that. Seeing the footage of like them just announcing the price, $300, walks off. It's just like, it's amazing. It's like, I wish everybody would just do that, you know? Like, I remember like watching the Xbox One reveal and Phil Spencer going out and he had to say the price. And you could hear the audible, what? in the audience.
Yep.
Everyone was just like, yeah. And then 5, 6, whatever, 8 hours later, PlayStation just knocking them out was with the $3.99. It was incredible. And they've been able to do that on many occasions throughout the years.
They've been on both sides of the fence on that one.
Yeah. They've done it themselves twice. Like, obviously, they've just done it with the PS5 Pro, for God's sakes, where everyone's just like, why, you fucking idiots, type of thing. But yeah, but no, yeah, it's like even though I am like a PlayStation player and everything, it's the console I prefer. I've never had a PlayStation 1, which is kind of funny to think about that. I know, yeah. It's even though I've played a few PlayStation 1 games, a few of my friends had them, and I've just played whatever they couldn't be bothered to play and everything, or I played and whatnot with them. So obviously, like for me, best game for me for PS1 is Final Fantasy 9. Everyone knows I'm going to say this game and everything. It's my favorite game of all time. But it's obviously like so many other games I played. Obviously, there's Final Fantasy 7 and 8. The Metal Gear Solid 1, the remake, rebrand, whatever the hell it was, the first one from Kojima, which was just revolutionary in itself. Obviously, you have other games and everything like that. I'll say it out there for you, but Gran Turismo. The GTAs, even though they weren't GTA until the next generation, really. And whatnot, the Tomb Raiders, and so many more. And I'm only speaking of what I can remember and everything. If you got any more in me, throw it out there.
Oh, I mean, like for me, it's like you can name like tons of important. I know, right?
Just fucking hell, Rezzies.
Yeah, important for like the history of video games, like PS1 releases, like say like Resident Evil, Silent Hill as well.
Yeah,
there's tons of them. For me, like if we're talking like best game on the console. Like it was Final Fantasy VII for me.
It's the most iconic, there's no doubt.
It's like for a bunch of different reasons, it was the most iconic. But just for like little Amy playing that game, and just being like, "Wait, games can do this."
I think that's why I think PlayStation just went ahead really fast, because everyone was just thinking that.
But yeah, like you mentioned Tomb Raider as well. Like like that. That game was like the precursor to how 3D games work now. Like it laid a blueprint. It's janky as fuck if you try to play it like now, but at the time it's fucking mind blowing. It's like you can move in 3 dimensions in a video game.
Yeah.
Like in real time. What the fuck? What's really funny about that game is it wasn't technically a PlayStation game. It did come out on Saturn as well.
Yeah.
It was the same with like Resident Evil. Like technically, it did also come out on Saturn.
But no one remembers the Saturn.
Except Keith.
No
Keith's
offense.
got one at his house, and he has. I think he
So
has.
you have a
Resident
Nick
Evil. As far as he knows, But yeah, like obviously Resident Evil was really important for me, and Silent Hill was really important for me. Like I can name some other games as well, where it's just like playing games with my parents isn't something that ever really happened. But when I was a kid and we only had the one TV, and I want to play on my PlayStation, and when like my mom really likes Warcraft 2 on PlayStation 1, like, and she played the shit out of it, and Command and Conquer as well. So like those 2 games are really important to me for that. It's like I don't really like strategy games, like real-time strategy games. So like I'm not going to sit down and play a Warcraft or Command and Conquer on my own, but like I have really strong fond memories of both of those games because I used to like help my man play them. And the only video game he says he's played video games before, but the only video game I've ever seen my dad play was on PS1. It was when we rented the PS1, I know I've told this story on the podcast before, where it's like the Christmas before we bought a PS1. I think it was the year it came out in Europe or the UK. I don't know if there's a difference in those two. My man worked for Blockbuster, which was like a rental place. Obviously, everybody knows what Blockbuster is. There was a documentary. And they had a bunch of PS1s for rental that they didn't want to keep in the shop for 3 days over Christmas while it was closed. So they gave them to the people that worked there. So I had a PS1 for 3 days with 2 games. For the life of me, I can't remember what one of them was. But the other one was the only game I've ever seen my dad play was Porsche Challenge. Like, he fucking loved playing Porsche Challenge. So I've got a really, really like fond, soft spot for that one specific weird PS1 racing game that wasn't Gran Turismo or Ridge Racer. It was Porsche Challenge.
Nice.
So I'd say, like, if I was making a list based purely on like emotions, Porsche Challenge would be there just because of that memory.
Nice. That's what you want to hear and everything like that. Unknown games that someone obviously connected with and fell in love with and whatnot. That's what you want to see.
Was that or it was some weird, like, it was definitely a Japanese game. It was a 2D side-scrolling shooter thing, and I've never, like, in the years and years, every now and again, I'm like, what was that game? I've never been able to find out. If I do, I'll stream it. I'll be like, this is the first PlayStation game I ever played. But yeah, no, it's because that's the thing about like what games are supposed to be. They're supposed to be memories, right? Like,
yeah,
they're products we like go out and like it's an industry and everything. But like games touch us in so many different ways, and like it's cool to remember like the Final Fantasies and the Silent Hills and like the favorite games, or like the industry defining games like Tomb Raider we just talked about. But like sometimes it is just like that personal touch of, here's this weird game like that I played with my mom, and that's why I love it. If I played it by myself right now, I probably wouldn't even enjoy it, but
yeah,
I have a fond memory of it.
Yeah, no doubt. That's like spot on. Like, there's a lot of games out there for a lot of people and whatnot for that, and to see that, like, yeah, it's always special. Like for me, like my parents, they weren't ever gamers. I never played a single game with them in my life for them and everything like that. It's just something wasn't for them and whatnot. But no, I'm glad I've had friends to be able to play games and whatnot. Like other ones I'll shout out, like Tekken. The Tekken started there as well. For Crash. Even though I never played the Crash games, it's a massive game for the franchise. Castlevania, I've got a list up here.
Symphony of the Night,
yeah. Mortal Kombat, even though it got more bigger on the original, like on the Nintendo and Sega ones, for what they did for the industry. Like they also got a good chance on
for the industry,
PlayStation,
to the industry.
Yeah, no doubt.
Thank you, Congress.
Spyro. Gran Turismo,
yeah, Gran Turismo, Ridge Racer Revolution,
Chrono Trigger,
Ace Combat,
Medieval, yeah. Legacy of Kieran.
Oh, Kane.
Which I think isn't that getting a remake or?
Yeah, I think they remastered them. I think they're out now. Yeah, I think two of them are.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, Legacy of Kane.
The Tony Hawk's games. Yeah, that's like they've had a lot of games that have come and been absolutely celebrated on PlayStation that have done.
PS1's library is iconic. Like,
yeah, no doubt.
As someone who kind of skipped over PS2, which we'll talk about momentarily, but like that to me, like PS1's library was like the strongest like PlayStation library. That like for me.
Yeah,
and I'm sure a lot of people would say PS2, but again, like I bought my PS2 like the year before the PS3 came out, like just to catch up on some stuff. So I never really got into it.
Kind of like me for PS3. Like I was very late to the party when it came to that generation for me and whatnot. But no, yeah, like I said, PlayStation. I think no one can argue PlayStation have just great games throughout each generation. Is some stronger than other ones? There's no doubt about that. I think that's guaranteed and whatnot for anyone.
About, like Ape Escape, right? Like Astrobot just had this big Ape Escape thing. It's like Ape Escape was a PS1 game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, it's PlayStation. Obviously, I won't like talking about this. Makes me. I might rewatch that Console Wars documentary film. It is so good. It really is.
Watch the Daryl videos first. But I've got the book actually. I might reread the book. But oh shit! I was just thinking those Star Wars. I played because I liked Star Wars, and like I was a kid when the PS1 was a thing. And when you're a kid, you don't pick your own games. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Your parents pick the games for you. So I played like so many fucking shit Star Wars games, but like I have a soft spot for all of them. Like Star Wars Episode 1. the Phantom Menace on PS1 with its janky ass fucking lightsaber combat. But there was one, and I just rebought it in the sale, in the PlayStation sale, which is Star Wars Rebel Assault 2, because I want to stream it, because like it's terrible, but I played the shit out of it when I was a kid because my parents bought it for me, and it was Star Wars.
It's Star Wars. No doubt about it. Even though it's hated out there, it's Star Wars. No doubt about it. Like how I just had the game. I just had a game on the tip of my tongue. Like I'm a huge wrestling guy. SmackDown. So SmackDown. I loved SmackDown when it came out. The first one. I think it came 1 and 2 came out on that, and then the next game, then third one was on PS2 and everything for it. But no, yeah, we had a lot of like just games, crazy games out there that just looking back on it, it's just like wow. It was a magical time for it and everything, and I think of no doubt about it, a less stressful freaking time.
Sure, but we were kids.
We were kids, and sometimes I wish I was a kid just to think about not having to think about the stupid shit that we see these days. Yeah. But either way, moving on to the PlayStation 2, where it became the best-selling console of all time. Is it? Or I don't think so.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And because. Yeah, it is. Sorry, yeah, because there was the shade to this again. This is where PlayStation got their marketing perfectly. It was just like this is the cheapest DVD player out there.
Yeah.
And they sold bunkers of it, or loads of them, and it was the genius play that they had for the day, and it stands to be one of the greatest consoles I think out there. I loved my PS2. They had so many different iterations to it as well. Like I remember the big thick boy when it came out, and then when they redid it, it went really, really thin. I was like, how did you go from this, a really big one, to this?
Yeah,
and being that thin.
I own the chunky
insane.
boy. Yeah, I own the one I own as a chunky boy. Like, and it must have been really well made because the PS2 that I bought, like I said, I bought it before that. It's still the same one. Like I still have the same PlayStation 2. It still works.
Nice. Wish mine did.
Yeah, me too,
bastard.
But this is the console that killed Sega's console division. Like,
basically,
because it was marketed not just as the games, the number one games machine, right? Like it was also the DVD marketing. Like a lot of people bought it for the DVD player. It's probably responsible. The console that is probably most responsible for getting people into gaming because of that. Because I think a lot of people who didn't play games bought it because they wanted a DVD player, and then probably dabbled in the games because, well, I just spent 300 quid on this thing. I'm gonna play some games on it. And I imagine some of those people were like, holy shit, I didn't know games were like this.
Yeah. And the tech industry just really dropped the ball when they was like, we're gonna throw a DVD player out for like 400, 500, 600 bloody quid. PlayStation's just like 300 quid. $2.99. They did it again, basically.
And it plays PS1 games.
And yeah, it was backwards compatible, which was even better. It was just like, there was so many like great games for it and everything for it. And like, I'm gonna the game for me, I'm gonna shout out for me, I would say is Grand Theft Auto Vice City. It's my Grand Theft Auto, that one. I know a lot of people love 3 and San Andreas and 5 and 6 whenever it comes out. But Vice City was the one that somehow I was just like, this just is really, really good. Like, I think what helped me with it was just like, oh, the protagonist, you're talking in it. Third one, you didn't. Yeah. And they obviously went further with it for the rest of the games and whatnot. But yeah, I think that was just what made it even better for me. Like, there's obviously other games I know, like I could say Final Fantasy X and everything, which is just a phenomenal game, which I absolutely adore, and I'm look forward to hearing your thoughts on that game one day. I do think you really will like it for it, but no, yeah, like what's off the top of your head for you? What game for you would you say is your PlayStation 2 game?
I've definitely liked more Final Fantasy games than I've disliked, so it's a strong possibility. I don't know, because again, it's like I didn't play PS2.
You missed this one, yeah.
Was the one I kind of missed, like, so it's hard to judge. Like, Guitar Hero 2 was one I played a lot of because it wasn't my PS2, it was my flatmates, and we played a shit ton of Guitar Hero 2 because it was a multiplayer game that, well, it wasn't actually a multiplayer game. We just used to like pass the guitar controller around. And it's stupid shitty little fucking cord, and we had to fucking switch seats all the time. Bastard thing. Actually, I hated that. I like the game though. Like Resi 4, which is a GameCube game, but I didn't get to it until I had a PS2, and I got the PS2 version of the game. Like Project Zero, the survival horror game, was a one that I got into. Really glad I did. Those games are really fucking expensive now, and I own them, thank God. But like, yeah, like I don't know, like I missed so many like games that I probably would have loved on that console. Like Persona 4 came out on PS2. Like I never got around to it. All of the Final Fantasy stuff that came out on it.
We had bangers. Like we had Final Fantasy 10, obviously Final Fantasy 10-2, Final Fantasy 12, even though 12 is not one that I think fondly of for it. But I think I agree with like the main consensus of this, like the protagonist who was the main protagonist shouldn't have been the most main protagonist. It should have been this other person. But it's either there or it's either here or there now.
Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, I wasn't
thinking of it as a PS2 game because I played it initially on Xbox because it was the one that came out on Xbox. But like Silent Hill 2, like would probably be that top game for me.
Yeah, I was gonna probably say that one for yourself as well. But yeah, we had loads. Obviously, Grand Theft Autos, Crash Bandicoot, Call of Duty. This is when Call of Duty started coming into it. Dragon Quest, Tomb Raider, Underworld when they killed her, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3 is like still one of the best games ever. Metal Gear Solid 3. I am looking forward to seeing what the remake does, but we'll see what happens. One game that I think doesn't get the love compared to what the Grand Theft Autos is, but that's The Getaway, based off the movie or sequel to the movie or whatever. But it's just like it's such a great little game about gangsters and everything, and I just thought it was just absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, you've got Omki, the Simpsons Hit and Okami. Sorry, thank you very much. No. Simpsons Hit and Run, Tony Hawk, Devil May Cry, Bully. Excuse me. Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance.
Which was
Max
fun.
Payne.
I played that. That was one of the ones I played. It was a fun little game. It's basically Gauntlet, but with a D&D skin. But
yeah, Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2. I think those for me are the Need for Speed games for me that I loved. I didn't really click on with the rest of them and everything that went more open world-ish, which just wasn't for me. I'll shout out again SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain, SmackDown, Just Bring It. It's just a gauntlet. God of War started here as well. Resi 4, I know you shout out Shadow of the Colossus.
And Eco. I'll shout out for Vitz.
Eco for Vitz. Yeah, it's like the PlayStation 2 was a banger. They balanced it with being a great DVD player and cheap DVD player, but also with great games and everything.
How mad is it that Persona 4 came out on PS2 and Persona 5 didn't come out on PS4?
Basically going to be what Naughty Dog do this generation.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other PS2 games like Kingdom Hearts. I'm trying to put myself in Vitz's shoes. Like Kingdom Hearts came out on PS2, didn't it?
Yeah, 1 and 2. Yeah.
And like, there's a ton of games that I'm like, I've got on my PSN wish list, or like I've got like on my like, hey, if I see this out and about when I'm looking at retro games, it's like, but like I don't want to like shout them out because I'm like, I don't know, I'm gonna play them. Yeah.
Like we've got Burnout, Gran Turismo 4, Gran Turismo,
which I put in my top 100. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, there's like bangers of games out there that they were able to do just really, really that were just cracking games.
I think the Hitman game started on PlayStation 2.
I think so, yeah. I think so. I'd be surprised if they didn't. Rogue Galaxy.
It's on my list.
Crash Bandicoot again. Bloody Tomb Raiders. Yeah, there's so many. Absolutely so many. It's absolutely bonkers. Like, I could go for the Wikipedia thing and oh my God.
What's at the bottom of the Metacritic? Gravity Games Bike Street.
Mafia started here. Hitman 2. Oh no, Hitman Contracts, Hitman Blood Money.
2 and 3.
Driver. I've shout out Dragon Ball Z games, Mortal Kombat, Sonic games. There's just so many Jack 3 or the Jack games, Dark Alliance.
I think you're repeating now.
Am I?
Yeah.
Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein
started.
It
was a Wolfenstein. It didn't start then. It started on PC, but there was a Wolfenstein game around about then.
Oh, my apologies. Star Ocean.
I don't know. Like, I'm out. Like I said, this one and the next one is like... the next one especially.
Tenchu. Wrath of Heaven.
Yeah, no, it was a cool console. I still don't know what an emotion engine is, but it sounds fucking sick.
That's fair. That is absolutely fair. There's no doubt about that. I'll click
it sounds better than Cell Processor anyway.
Yeah, and then so PlayStation, they just peaked. There's no doubt about it. PlayStation 2 is probably their peak, I would say. Even though I love the PS4 era and everything, PlayStation 2, I think, is no doubt for me is their peak. And then they decided just to say, we want to handicap ourselves.
Let's give everyone else a fighting chance.
Yeah, give Xbox a fighting chance. Nintendo decided just to hurt themselves even more. No, that's when the Wii came out.
No, I was going to say, yeah, it's like let's give everyone a sporting chance. Wait, what's that? What's Shigeru Miyamoto holding in his hand? Oh shit!
Yeah. And also, let's go cell processor as well, and just make it an incredibly difficult console to develop for. And put it out at the stupidest of prices at PlayStation 3. What was $699 at the highest, best gigabyte level or whatever? I think it was
$599. And then let's tell everybody when they complain about the price. Well, you can just get a second job to afford one.
Yeah, and then Xbox decided to redo that the next generation after.
Which saw that and went, that's a great strategy. We should try.
We're going to copy your homework. Insane. But either way, funny enough, PlayStation 3 I still have a delight on, even though they had a lot of problems and everything. PlayStation 3 was a banger of a console for me and everything, even though they did, like I said, I'm repeating, a lot of stupid shit on this here. But let's crack on with it. I'm going to shout out my favorite game. I could say The Last of Us, but I'm going to cheat and I'm going to say the Mass Effect trilogy. Because that trilogy...
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 3.
No. 1 was never out on PS3.
Yeah, it was. They did the box set trilogy. Yeah, they did the box set trilogy, yeah.
Because I thought they just did 2 and 3 because 1 was a Microsoft published game.
Yeah, but they did you can get it. It's not separate. You have to get it as a box set. Yeah. You could play Mass Effect 1 on the PlayStation 3.
I learned something.
No, it's all right. But no, yeah, those absolutely just it was just really just made me fall in love with games even more. I absolutely loved the trilogy, and it was just banger of games out there and everything. Amy, what's any game that shouts out for you?
I mean, I didn't play anything on the PS3. So anything that I say would be a cheat, because obviously I played a shit ton of games that came out on PS3, on Xbox 360, and then obviously on PS4, PS5.
Yes.
But when I played pretty close to when it came out, that was like fucking huge for me, was The Last of Us. I played the remaster when it came out on PS4 because I had a PS4 at launch. And like, I remember I was reviewing games at the time, and The Last of Us came out on PS3. Everyone was flipping the fuck out, losing their fucking minds. And I was, because I didn't have the console, I was stuck playing a game called Remember Me. and like, I didn't like the game at all anyway. But like, while everybody else was having life-changing experiences that I couldn't have because I didn't have the console and I couldn't get one. So I was pretty salty about it. So, like, even my review of Remember Me, like, which doesn't exist on the internet anymore, but there was a part of it where I was just complaining about not being able to play The Last of Us. So when I finally did get to play The Last of Us, and it still, like, hit that fucking high water mark for me, like, that would probably be, like, the PS3 game.
It's the game that was the best send-off ever for the PS3, no doubt about it, because that was also the year when the PS4 came out, which is insane to think that.
Well, there's tons of PlayStation games that I've played, but, like, not on PS3. Like, so
yeah, no doubt.
I'm going to go with that one, because it's probably the closest I can give to an honest answer.
Yeah, so going through Metacritic here, so obviously they got a list here. So going through it here, obviously we got GTA 4, GTA 5, the Uncharted trilogy, obviously, which was just obviously topped by The Last of Us by the end. Which, and to think that we got 4 games from Naughty Dog that were overall mostly loved throughout, even though, yes, I know Uncharted 1 probably is not as loved as much as Uncharted 2, and then so on and everything, but like overall they were just great sellers for PlayStation, and we've got 4 games out of Naughty Dog in one generation. Yes, I know the PS3 and Xbox 360 generation was a lot longer than I think a lot of people thought it was going to be and everything.
It was longer than it was than normal.
Yeah, I think a lot of people put that down to the financial crash that was 2009, was it? 2009?
2008.
Correct. Oh, 2008, that was close. Anyway,
I remember being at work and everybody was wondering why there was a massive queue outside of one of the bank that was next door.
Give me my money, what's left of it?
That was basically what was happening, yeah.
So we had those, the Batman trilogy, the Batman first 2 games, Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, Little Big Planet, Red Dead Redemption 1, obviously The Last of Us already shouted out, Portal 1 and 2, BioShock, Modern Warfare. This is basically when Call of Duty really blew up. Pardon me there. Metal Gear Solid, Phantom Pain. No, Guns of Patriots. Sorry, my apologies for. I loved that game. I remember staying up till like I think 4 o'clock in the morning, finishing that game off, and then a few hours later have to go to work for a morning shift. Not the best idea at all. Obviously, we've had Elder Scrolls Oblivion, Elder Scrolls Skyrim, and everything. Skyrim, I have a special heart to, and everything. Journey, Rock Band. Going through the rest here. What else have we got here? But obviously the Rock Band games 1 and 2 and 3. Assassin's Creed 2. Obviously, then obviously the spin-offs for Ezio, Assassin's Creed. Do we want to shout out 3? 3 wasn't really the greatest, but either way. Borderlands 2. Like I said during our, even though you will never see the footage out there, but I'll say it here. Out of the 100 games, Borderlands 2 for me is like one of the best shooters out there. I absolutely adored playing that game, especially like with a friend of mine, playing 2-player co-op on it. It was just one excellent experience. You got the Killzone games, Dark Souls games, a game that rejuvenated, I think, the Far Cry franchise in Far Cry 3. Fallout 3, I know that's mixed for a lot of people, but Fallout 3, Limbo. Where we
you could go on for a while. It might
I really could.
We don't have the time for because when you get to PS4, it's like we don't have the time to go through the best games on these consoles.
I know, but I will just shout out these quick ones here: Demon Souls, LA Noire, Dead Space, and XCOM. And for you, Amy, Dishonored.
Thank you.
Can't say no to that.
I didn't play that game until like the 2020s, but thank you.
That's fair. That's fair. But no, yeah, it's we've had some great games from PlayStation 3, even though it had a rocky start, we'll say. A rocky start indeed, no doubt.
Could say that.
Now let's get on to PlayStation 4, the final one. We're not going to do PS5. It hasn't been out long enough. I would rather do the PS5 if it was at the end of its life cycle. That's not for another few more years.
PS5 game by default is Ratchet and Clank because it's like the only one. Everything else is on PS4.
That's the argument is sound. There's no doubt about it. But either way, PS4 was the console that brought me truly back to gaming. I absolutely adored this game, this console, and I think it just brought out banger after banger after banger when it came to games. It's a slow start at the beginning, but it was like we just had amazing games. Amy, for you, PlayStation 4, what is the PlayStation 4 game for you that would be your favorite PlayStation 4 game overall?
Can I say The Last of Us Remastered again?
I thought you would say.
I would say Bloodborne.
Yeah,
of course
I was going to say. I was going to say. You're saying Bloodborne?
Yeah, Bloodborne.
Do we have to have a talk?
No, I didn't play that game until I was playing it on PS5. But yes, Bloodborne.
Yeah, no doubt. Like, oh my god, I put in PS4. They're showing games that are mostly more pushed on PS5.
Yeah, don't Google this one. Bloodborne, easily, hands down, without a doubt.
Yeah,
that was probably one of the most important games I've ever played, just for like what it taught me about how to play games, and also like from that, like the avenues of which it opened up to me, right? It's like so much more about video games opened up to like, oh, I can like, if I just play a game on its own terms, it turns out I could enjoy anything, like any genre. My God. And then obviously like that led me down the From Software rabbit hole, which is like, I've talked about
rabbit hole of all rabbit holes.
It's like, I fucking can't believe I never played these games. And then like to culminate that with Elden Ring is just... what a journey! But it all started.
Which you can play on PS4.
Yes, you can. But it all started with Bloodborne in 2020 during lockdown. So
no doubt. For me, Last of Us Part 2. I think it's the definitive PlayStation 4 game that I think is just, I stand by to this day, is just a overall masterpiece of a game. That I just absolutely adored. It shook me to my core from playing that game, and I truly am looking forward to seeing whatever they do next. I am looking forward to whenever they decide they want to go back to the Last of Us. But for
Part
me,
one
like,
remake remastered. Yeah.
Wait, what? But let's crack on with these other games like God of War. God of War got its new lease of life on this generation. Even though I didn't play it, I believe Vitz loved it. Ghost of Tsushima, Red Dead Redemption 2, Horizon Zero Dawn give Guerrilla Games a new lease of life. And I love Horizon Zero Dawn. I thought it was a great game, even though the sequel didn't really work for me that much. But look, I was so happy for that. Seriko, It Takes Two, Mortal Kombat's Uncharted 4, the finale to Nathan Drake's story, Death Stranding. Game Amy does like people, okay? even though people may think otherwise.
She's going to go back. Give it another shot.
Yeah, Resident Evil came back in a big way in that era.
Resident Evil 6, baby. Oh yeah. No,
I was going to say 7, and then obviously they remade 2 and 3.
I was going to make an Umbrella Corps joke, but I thought even I can't do that with a straight face.
That's true. I'll have to shout this one just because of how big the game is in itself, even though it can be played anywhere. Fortnite. For God's sakes, like Fortnite is a massive game, especially on PlayStation. You got Minecraft, even though that is an Xbox-owned platform title. Who will never forget Cyberpunk? Vitz isn't, because he's playing it right now. That's why he's not here. He didn't like us to work.
He didn't want to play Cyberpunk. He said some bullshit about something else. But nah, man.
Yeah, but I also have to shout this game out just for like you and me, Amy. Apex, like how it's like was one of the best shooters I played, especially during lockdown with you, and I think it was a great game to really get into. Rocket League. There were so many of them all games. Rainbow Six Siege. I have to shout that one out. I loved Rainbow Six Siege, even though I did primarily play that on Xbox. I absolutely love and adore that game and whatnot. There's other games I'm sure I've missed, but please do let us know what is your PS1 favorite game, PS2 favorite game, PS3 and PS4 favorite games. Let us know in the comments and everything, or shout us out, or hit us up on Bluesky. We are both there and everything. But some amazing games that we've talked about there. And PlayStation have had a crazy 30 years and everything. I'm sure the next 10, and more, will be even more crazier with them. But hopefully we will still be talking about some great games.
Hopefully.
Down in the future.
That will be nice.
It would be very much nice.
They got to make some first, though.
They do have
and
to
not
make some.
unrelease them 2 weeks later.
Poor Concord.
I can't wait to watch. I don't think I'm gonna watch that. You know, that like video game anthology series that's coming out on Prime. I don't know if I'm gonna sit down and watch it, but I am gonna watch the Concord episode just for fun.
It's an anthology series coming on Prime.
Yeah, it's like each episode is like a different game, like series, and they made like an episode about it. Like there's a Armored Core 1 episode with Keanu Reeves. But
interesting.
One of the episodes is about Concord.
If I've heard of this, my brain is completely forgotten
I can't
about
remember
it.
the name of it, but I think we've talked about it before. Yeah.
Yeah, my brain's probably just went. Boom.
One of the episodes is set in Concord, which
Nice.
I think is great for obvious reasons. It's the only proof that it ever existed.
Wah, wah, wah.
Best game on PS5, by the way, Concord. I've changed my answer.
We weren't doing PS5.
I know, but I've said it anyway.
Mine is Last of Us 2. Wait, what? But no, yeah, great games out there.
Hell
PlayStation, even though they do a lot of pain in the ass things that just piss us off, they've also done some great stuff with some great consoles and great games. And happy anniversary, PlayStation.
No, my serious answer is Returnal. Okay, that came out on PS5. Anyway.
Shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was like, wait, Returnal exists, and it was great. Cool.
I remember you struggled with that. You was like, am I liking this?
I had a contentious relationship with that game for the
You
entire
really,
time
really
I
did.
played it. But no, it was good. I liked it, mostly. I do want to play it again, actually. I can't finish it, though, because like the last level is like underwater. So I was never able to finish it.
Bastard.
But like, it's fine. I watched the ending on YouTube and really enjoyed the 5 levels before that. But yeah. Anything more PlayStation related that you want to shout out?
To the best controller.
Yeah,
it's a great controller.
Yeah, it is.
Like, aren't they the ones who brought the analog sticks onto controls?
2. So Nintendo had theirs with 1.
One, yeah.
And there's a fascinating history behind that I've researched for a short video I'm going to release next year. But yeah, PlayStation did 2. So like they didn't invent the analog stick, but like putting a second one on the controller was pretty revolutionary.
Yeah. Because I know like there's a couple of games, like I remember one, someone reviewed Alien Resurrection and they were just like, I can't play this because of the analog sticks. Not the real.
That comes up in the Nintendo video, but yeah, someone...
Sorry, I didn't know that.
No, it's fine.
Video,
Alien Resurrection was the first game that had the control scheme that you and I would consider standard for first-person games.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was a GameSpot review where they basically said these controls are the worst controls I've ever... Like, it's the worst thing about the game. I hate them. They suck. Like, I can't believe they did this. And, like, they're the controls that we use today. Like,
it's a too much water review all over again.
It was very funny to read that review. And then Halo came out and did they used the exact same controller layout on the analog sticks, and everyone thought it was amazing.
It became iconic, yeah.
But Alien Resurrection got there first.
It really did. It really, really did. See, Alien gets there first sometimes. Alien Isolation, for fuck's sake, I didn't shout out that game.
Did I say that?
Which Vitz will be playing next year for charity, whenever we haven't decided yet.
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
Moody, let's wrap this podcast up with a little game of OpenCritic Head-To-Head. This is the game we play every week, where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of upcoming games. Whoever guesses closest to the score gets a point. If you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. Last week, we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of 3 games. Now, I figured Marvel Rivals wouldn't have enough reviews now because it's a live service game, so it's not going to have a lot of pre-release reviews. Indiana Jones and the Great Fucking Circle, or whatever the hell it's called, is the review embargo drops today when we're recording this, but not before we've recorded this. So we'll find out the results of that next week. But Fantasia Neo Dimension was the one we did guess, and that does have reviews. Vitz guessed it would get an 85. I guessed it would get a 76. Moody guessed it would get an 80. And at the time of recording, Fantasia Neo Dimension has an OpenCritic average of 82, which means Moody gets a point. I didn't know this was a re-release. And it's a mobile. It was released on Apple Arcade, and it was stranded there for like 3 years. And they've finally been able to port it to consoles.
Always was locked under exclusivity or some crap like that.
When Apple thought Apple Arcade was going to do something, and then it didn't do anything, which is a shame. Womp, womp. But yeah, no. By the creator of Final Fantasy, it's the same studio that made Lost Odyssey, so it's definitely like in my mind. Like, I want to play this, but I also never finished Lost Odyssey, and I really want to do that as well. This week, got a game to guess. I had a stretch. I was like, we need a game. Like, because next week we're going to do the last game of the year for OpenCritic, but I don't want to like skip a week to get to it. So I found one. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind is the game we're going to guess the OpenCritic average of this week. Well, me and Moody are going to guess it, and Vitz is going to fill in his answer when I message him and be like, hey, Vitz, put a number in here. Isn't this the 2D scrolling fighting game by the people who made Streets of Rage 4?
I believe so, yes.
That's pretty cool, because even I enjoyed Streets of Rage 4.
And obviously you got the nostalgia of what Power Rangers is. A lot of people do have a lot of nostalgia for those games, for just that show in general and everything.
But it is,
and knowing that you can play as the OG classes that everyone loves, who still loves Power Rangers, who watches and grew up on Power Rangers, and obviously with the untimely, sadly, death of Tommy, who played the gentleman who played Tommy. I can't remember his name. I apologize. I will try and find that out. So
Jason something, I think.
Jason something Franks, I think, isn't it? Jason Lee Franks. Power Ranger.
I almost typed in who played Jason in Power Rangers.
Jason David Franks. Frank.
Okay. Our memories sort of work.
So like, so yeah, this game's coming out and everything. So
it's you to go first, by the way.
I can see that. How about 76?
76. Yeah, I played Streets of Rage 4. I got a review code for it, by the way. But I played it with Phil. It was in lockdown, during lockdown, actually. We smashed through.
I remember. Did you stream it and I watched it?
No, it was just me and Phil playing it. We smashed a bunch of the game out over like the course of like one evening.
I think you played it with him, and then you tell me about it, and I said I want to play it, and but I want to play it 2-player, and I think you helped me. But I don't think we completed it.
Maybe. That sounds plausible. But yeah, no. It's notable because it's the only, apart from Among Us, it's the only time me and Phil have ever played a game like together. I own Friday the 13th on PlayStation 4 because that motherfucker was like, oh yeah, we should definitely play Friday the 13th. And I was like, sick, let's do it. Never happened. Didn't happen, mate. Didn't play it. Fucking waste of money. Because I didn't want to play that game by myself. But anyway, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita Rewind 82. I'm gonna go with 82. I think if you can make a side-scrolling 2D beat 'em up that I like, you've got some talent. Because I don't like those games. Typically. Not a genre for Amy. And we'll find out what Vitz guesses next week when we reveal the results, and we'll guess our final OpenCritic Head-To-Head game next week. Who could possibly win OpenCritic Head-To-Head? It's a mystery. It's been a mystery all year. Crazy. I'm trying to inject the drama, and is it working?
No.
Should I reset everyone's scores to 0 and say the last game is whoever wins the last game wins OpenCritic Head-To-Head?
All of these points have now been won by draws, and now it's down to the final game.
It's down to the final game. Everyone's got one. Yeah, that's going to do it for this episode of the Words About Games podcast. We hope you've enjoyed hanging out with us. It's been an interesting one. Talked a lot about spreadsheets. It's always a passion of mine.
Celebrating games instead of talking about how bad they are.
Don't worry, next week Vitz is reviewing some Gran Turismo thing that's happening, so we'll be talking shit about games next week.
Both me and Amy will be switched off by then.
I'll try and counterbalance it. I'll think of something. I'll be like, look at this other spreadsheet I made.
Every time Vitz talked about Gran Turismo.
I have the stats here for everything Vitz has ever said about Gran Turismo 7 right in front of me. Can you imagine if I'd been doing that?
No, yeah. I could actually. I'm not gonna lie.
Actually, it sounds like something I would have done. You would think I would have done that.
It does sound exactly something that you would do. I mean, no doubt.
Damn.
No doubt.
I'll have to think of some funny things to do next year and just be like, just bust out random spreadsheets throughout the year. Here's every time Moody mentioned Dino Crisis.
Dino Crisis. There's another one.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Moody, I believe, if I'm reading the show notes right, which is a lie because this isn't actually in the show notes, it's your time to shine.
Apparently it is, yes. Hello, everybody. Today, be proud. You made it. Another day is behind you. Another week has passed. You want to know what else? You are absolutely doing your goddamn best. You are truly doing great, and you are good enough out there. Believe in yourself. One step at a time, one day at a time, one dream at a time. Now stand up and jump up and high five that sky because you made it and you are enough. Live long and prosper.
I added it. It now does say Moody's time to shine on the show notes.
God.